Well, let's get right over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick, because Thomas, it was incredibly hot yesterday. It's still going to be a little hot today, but some people are seeing some rain.
Yeah, a little bit of rain might be taking the edge off, but because of this monsoon moisture and push of humid air from the south, it's actually kept our temperatures very warm through the overnight hours, or at least relatively speaking. We've just been in the mid 70s for low temperatures here. Now, thankfully, this cloud cover is definitely going to keep those temperatures in check through the day today, but we'll be keeping tabs on this rainfall and later on some thunderstorms throughout the next 24 hours here. But some light rain most likely over far north Idaho right now. Things have cleared up over Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, at least for the time being. But notice that the rain moved over Sandpoint. Now Bonners Ferry is where it's falling at its heaviest right now. This just some morning rainfall, but welcomed rainfall because, hey, rain in the summertime is always a good thing for our region. But for tonight, after 5, 6 o'clock into the late afternoon and early evening hours, that's when our thunderstorm chances come into play. They will be small or isolated thunderstorm chances, but could be intense where they occur. So coming up, I'm going to detail who has the best chance to see these thunderstorms overall and the overall time frame we're expecting them to be forming and traveling across the inland northwest. So that forecast is coming up in just a couple minutes.
Well, 5 years after the Freeman High School shooting, the shooter is scheduled to be in court once again. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is joining us live now from the Spokane County Courthouse, where the sentencing is scheduled for next week. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Channing. So Caleb Sharpe is scheduled to be back in court this week. This is the beginning of a week and a half of court proceedings that is leading up to the shooter's sentencing. Now, today specifically is going to be one court hearing that's going to be basically procedural. Then tomorrow morning is when we're expecting the shooter to be back in court. For the next week, the court will be hearing from victims and experts. The judge is expected to make a decision on actual sentencing next Friday on August 19th. Now, Sharpe opened fire on his classmates at Freeman High School back in 2017, killing one and injuring 3 others. He pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and several counts of attempted murder and assault back in January of this year. Of course, we will be at these court proceedings to bring you updates as they happen. In Spokane County, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Now, KREM 2 has followed the Freeman High School shooting since the beginning. So here's a timeline of events that are leading up to today. The Freeman High School shooting happened in 2017. The shooter was 15 when this happened. However, the court decided that he would be tried as an adult. A trial date was originally set for October of 2020, but it was pushed to June of 2021 due to the pandemic. And it actually didn't start until January of this year. Now, the shooter pleaded guilty to several charges of first-degree murder and second-degree assault. Before his sentencing, the judge ordered the gunman to hear multiple victim impact statements from those who are affected by the shooting.
Upon entering the hallway, I immediately come eye to eye with Caleb Sharpe. Caleb just stares at me. I again immediately point my Leatherman at Caleb Sharpe and say, "Get on the effing ground right now."
The shooter's sentencing was expected to begin in June. However, it was delayed until mid-July. A Washington State University police officer is under investigation for allegations of sexual misconduct while on duty. Now, 3 high-ranking members of the department are leaving their jobs. A WSU police officer reported the allegations to command staff from a third-party source. They claim Sergeant Matt Kurt engaged in non-consensual sexual activity. The command staff conducted an internal investigation instead of reporting it to the university.
It does look like there were multiple individuals he was involved in. Some of them were employees at the time or currently employees.
WSU spokesperson Phil Weiler says that none of the people involved were underage or a student at the time. WSU policy, though, requires that these claims be reported to the university. Since command staff did not do that, they could face possible termination. Now, the university police chief, assistant chief, and captain are all retiring. Former Pullman Police Chief Gary Jenkins will serve as the university's interim police chief for the next 6 months. It's 7:05 now, time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Happening today is the funeral procession for firefighter Dan Patterson, who died last week. The fire department announced the procession route, which you can now see here on your screen. The procession will start today at 11:15 at the Spokane Valley Fire Station 2. Now, out of respect for the family's wishes, they're asking that only family members, the Spokane Valley Fire Department, and other emergency responders attend the actual funeral. Well, a 12-year-old girl was behind the wheel in a car crash that happened yesterday morning. And this all happened at East 9th Avenue and South Helena Street in the South Perry district. According to police, the 12-year-old driver ran a stop sign, hit another car, and crashed into a power pole. The other car veered into the front yard of a house at that intersection. One person in the car hit by the young girl was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, be careful parking too close to a mailbox in Post Falls, as that could soon get you a $20 fine. That's according to the Coeur d'Alene Press. The Post Falls City Council approved a request from the police department to restrict parking in front of mailboxes. Now, there's not a specific distance mentioned in the new ordinance. However, people are just expected not to block mailboxes with their car. The new code went into effect yesterday. And fire officials believe that a Molotov cocktail started a fire at a house in Hilliard. That fire started around 11:30 Sunday night. The house appeared to be vacant with plywood covering all of the doors and windows, but a large fire was burning in the attic, and Spokane fire crews were able to get the flames under control in less than 5 minutes. The Spokane Fire Special Investigation Unit is currently looking into who caused the fire. And that's a look at your morning rush. Wildfire risk is escalating this week, and that is incredibly troubling for the fire crews battling the Williams Lake wildfire, and they're still working to put out hot spots. The Williams Lake wildfire is 80% contained, and crews are still working the area to secure containment lines and mop up within 300 feet around the fire. They are identifying hot spots and hosing them down. Residents there say that they're incredibly grateful for the around-the-clock work from these firefighters.
Honestly, I'm running to all my windows, looking outside, like, do I see anything? So I think in the back of our minds, that's always there. But I know we're in good hands, and we still have a lot of firefighters out here that are covering us and taking good care of us.
Ground crews are using infrared cameras at night to identify hot spots that might not be visible to the naked eye. The wildfire did not burn any homes, thankfully. The homes and buildings were the first areas that firefighters secured when this wildfire broke out. DNR says that they hope to send any firefighters who are not part of the Cheney district home by Thursday. In the meantime, the Lion Roar wildfire burning near the Lion Creek drainage at Priest Lake has now grown to 40 acres. The Idaho Department of Land says that they have 4 fire engines on the scene with a 70-person crew and multiple helicopters. Right now, the fire is 0% contained. However, there are no evacuations in place, but a ready alert has been raised for residents of Sandpiper Shores. An investigator has also been ordered to the area. For the latest updates on this wildfire, you can check our website, KREM.com.